Today is a great day to close some more sales with paid in full. Stay tuned. What's up, FlowChat fam? Chris here, CEO and co-founder of FlowChat.com. We're talking to real entrepreneurs that are getting real results. And if you love increasing sales, and not just any type of sale, I'm talking about the coveted paid in full, full commitment, the best clients. We have a great episode for you and how to do it. And it includes you closing and empowering your sales force to collect paid in full, but the customer is actually allowed to pay in payments. Here's a short example. If you have a $10,000 package and you're saying, hey, would you like to pay in full for 10,000, or would you like X amount of months of payments of 200 or 500 bucks per month? It's a lot easier to close, but yet the business is able to collect the payment in full. And you might be thinking, Chris, how? How is this possible? Well, we've brought on the best. Today's guest, Lexi, is going to walk us through that. Lexi, how's it going?
Hi, thank you for having me.
Yes, I'm glad and excited to go through this because this particular process, which essentially is client financing or third-party financing, is a really powerful strategy for coaches, for experts, mastermind owners, community leaders, etc. And not everyone knows about it, and some know about it, but they haven't found the right partners and lenders to execute on this well. So I'm glad that you can kind of walk us through this. First, just simply define, if you could, what is client financing?
Love that. So we are a direct lender to merchant business where we can bring in all different verticals, all different businesses that offer different types of things, and we're able to set them up with a lender that will take their consumer on a monthly payment, and they're going to give that amount of their product, service, course, and they're going to give it directly to the merchant. So the consumer never sees the money. The merchant is business. They're able to pitch their program and sell to the consumer and receive the money up front from the lender.
So that's awesome. For everyone listening, basically what she's describing is someone can get approved from a lender. Normally they're stuck with other options, like only getting maybe a business credit card, which sometimes can be a great route, but not everyone can get approved for the interest, 12 months or 18 months interest-free cards, and they're left with no option, and yet they really need and could benefit from your program. The path that Lexi's describing is that option. So if we could, now that we know what it is, let's kind of walk through the process as an example. I guess I'll put myself as the guinea pig. So let's
Okay.
say I'm selling, an annual package for $9,000. I mean, we'll make it $10,000, easy numbers. And
Okay.
so we're selling an annual package for $10,000, and my sales team are doing demos, and they're saying, hey, here's the overall product, here's the overall service, and we get to the end of the call. What would that sound like from in a sales environment?
So a closer, the way that we love to do this is we kind of turn that two-part sales process into a three-part sales process. A lot of time businesses have a setter and a closer. And now we kind of push to maybe have like the finisher, which could be the financing team. And the way that you do it is you're going to have the setter make sure, it's a qualified lead, send it to the closer, and then the closer is going to start selling them on the program and they're going to try to piff them, right? And then once they get to that point where there's like a barrier of, I can't afford it, like this sounds awesome, but it just doesn't work, or, I don't have quite have that cash yet. Well, that's when the closer can go, okay, well, what if I could put you on a 24-month payment plan? Or what if we could offer you financing for 12 months? And then once the consumer's like, oh, yeah, I could for sure do that, it's $10,000 or it's 24 payments of $500, that absolutely works. I'll do the 24 payments of 500. So then the closer, either they take the call and they're going to send them an application, send it to our lenders, or you're going to take that third part process and you're going to send it to your finishing team. And then that finishing team is going to take that next 5 minutes to 7 minutes to close the call on the financing side. So the way that a merchant is able to access this type is they first have to apply with client financing. We're going to look at your package. We're going to do a little bit of underwriting, and we're going to send it to all of our lenders that you fit with. Once the lender approves you and puts you through their program, we're going to set you up with a client financing application. It's a financing application. We put your logo on it. Then once you get to that finisher side, you're going to send that consumer your financing logo with your logo, or financing application with your logo on it. They're going to fill it out, and then you're going to take it to the lender that fits with that consumer. So you'll want to do a little, what's your credit score? What's your monthly revenue or your yearly revenue, things like that. Once you get them through that finish line, you're able to just take them right into your onboarding process. They get put on easy monthly payments, and the business gets that money directly from the lender. So that's kind of the start to finish process. It usually takes about 5 to 10 minutes extension to your current sales pitch that companies have.
I love it. Okay, so we've covered the what, we've covered the how. Why is this valuable to anyone listening, watching? It helps you collect payments in full. So it will increase sales, but also increase cash flow in your business, which can obviously be very helpful. But now, Lexi, it's time to beat this up a little bit. All right, we're going to go through some details because in financing, there can be some problems. There can be some challenges with this. One of them is, let's talk about rates for a little bit, like interest rate. How painful, all right, Doc, like how bad is it with the
Okay.
interest rate? Yeah.
Yeah, we have it wide range, to be honest. So we
Mhm.
have many lenders, especially in the coaching space, that will give you 12 months, same as cash. So they're going to put your consumer on a 24-month payment plan or financing plan. But if that consumer can pay off within 12 months, then they're going to take all the interest that they've paid up to the point and subtract it from their remaining amount. So they get a same as cash option.
Oh,
We have some lenders that will go from 15% interest all the way up to 25% interest. That's probably the range that we're looking at, 15 to 25%, but most of our lenders do have a same as cash offer between 3 to 12 months if they can pay it off. Coaching, especially like if we're talking in the coaching space, we do many other verticals, but coaching, it can be risky for these lenders, which is why a lot of times, like, 2, 3 years ago, the only financing option that these consumers had was a direct to consumer financing, where the consumer would reach out to these financing lenders. They would try to get either a personal loan or a credit card. And then it just takes, 7 to 10 days to actually close a call. So in the time now with the lenders that we've worked with, it is a little bit higher risk, but they want to be paid off as soon as they can, which is why they're offering that incentive. Like, yes, I'm going to put you on this payment plan. It's going to go 24 months. We're going to have 18% interest, but hey, if you can pay it off within 12 months, we're going to avoid all the interest altogether.
so if you're, presenting your course, community, mastermind, service, etc., and I mean, you could really frame it to focus on that 12-month time frame. Better
Totally.
yet, maybe like in the first 90 days, if, we're buying into, this process, this product, this service, and if all we did was close another client, few clients, and increase results, it's like pay it off before 12 months. But
Oh,
this gives you
totally.
the freedom and time to do it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a huge pitch for closers also. Like, especially like, for example, if it was a real estate flipping formula type of course, right? It's like, hey, follow my course. We're going to go 90 days. I'm going to teach you how to flip a house. We're going to find a house for you to buy. We're going to flip it. You're going to sell it. You're going to make all this cash injection. Use that other people money, OPM, to pay off the course that you just purchased. So it's a huge sales pitch also for these closers to have.
I love it. So I think it's important for people to realize that you're a broker and not a lender. Can you talk through that dynamic?
Yeah, absolutely. So client financing with just our past 15, we've had 15 years of in the business lending space. And, a couple years ago, we realized that not only do businesses need money, but also the consumers need to be able to finance the product that they're buying. So we've worked with a ton of lenders that we have had connections with, and we've built these financing options. And with that, we've also reached out to other lenders. We've made relationships with other lenders. So we have, a book of about 10 to 20 lenders that we work with. Some of them say you can only receive financing in with this lender only if you feed through client financing. The way that we work is we have this application that you fill out. We will look it over. We'll see which lenders you fit with, and then we're going to send you to that lender. We're really going to bridge that gap from the lender to the merchant. So we're not really a cog in the wheel. We kind of have that relationship all together, but at the same time, we are here to support you on your back end. We're going to create that application for you to send your consumers. We're going to create a spreadsheet that keeps all that data for you. If you have a question on a certain lender that you're working with, we can get answers for you pretty quickly. So we are a broker, but we're also, here to help facilitate all of it.
Makes sense. Network is key. And so, sometimes people will go to apply and they'll struggle. Or, we're working with this lender. It's like, well, we don't approve, programs like that. So I think the value that you're proposing is, and that you have, is the network. You're like, all right, well, like, yeah, these handful don't work over here, but these guys are great in the coaching space, for example, and they have, prime loans as well as subprime loans. And can you talk through kind of
Yes.
it as clients are having, like what credit score do you need and like what clients can even apply for this?
Yeah. So with the lenders that we work with, we have prime lenders that are going to approve all of your prime clients. And we kind of have like a workflow that goes through. We call it a lending waterfall. So we will set businesses up with a prime lender, a near prime, and a subprime. You'll take the application, you can feed it to the prime lender. Let's say your consumer says, I have a 700 credit score. Okay, I'm going to send you to our prime lender. Maybe they missed a few car payments, maybe they've missed, but they're building it up. And this lender's like, it's just a little too much risk. Okay, I'm going to now feed you to our near prime lender. So then our near prime lender can pick them up and put them on the payments. Maybe it's a consumer that has a little bit lower credit than what they told you. And then you can send them to our subprime lender. And the great thing about our subprime lender is they will approve every single person that you bring them. That you can't paint another, like any type of person or any credit score or scenario where this lender will not approve them. They will approve every single person that comes in. So we say you have 10 leads, you're able to close 3 of them. Our prime and near prime lenders can close 4 of them. And then you wonder, sometimes those other 3 with the solutions that you have, they just kind of fall in the trash. We're able to pick them back up. And sometimes those are your best stories for your business. This person had the most drive, had the most success with our program, and they were, had the lowest credit score.
Yes, I think that's great for us. That business model where they accept everyone sounds really painful. Wonder, hopefully that's working for them. Lastly, let's kind of focus on this before I switch gears to hear a little bit more about yourself. Let's go to the merchant side. So for all founders, business owners, if we're like, cool, this sounds great, what are the costs to us to, go use client financing or be approved?
Okay, so client financing, we have no fee to join, no fee to send in an application. Your success is our success. So, some of these other businesses that you may reach out to that kind of have like some of our competitors, they do have a monthly fee to be part of them.
Hmm.
They kind of control your relationship with the lender. We're here to receive it and send it to the lenders. So with client financing, there's no fee at all. Every lender has a fee to work with them.
Hmm.
These fees can range, they call it a merchant discount or a merchant fee that they charge. This can be like 3%. So it's like you're receiving 97%. And it can go all the way to like 77% is what you're receiving from the lender. So it kind of ranges with each lender that you're working with. You know, the prime lender and the near prime lender, they're going to give you that higher percentage. That subprime lender, a little bit more risky to bring on those consumers. They're going to have a little bit more of a fee to bring them on, but it's a sell that you wouldn't have had
So
otherwise.
their structure is percentage wise. So in the example earlier of say we're, anyone listening, watching, selling a $10,000 program, we meet with, we'll just say a prime lender, um, and they're going to charge 3%.
Yeah, so they'll say, hey, we're going to put this consumer on a 12-month financing plan and we're going to give you $9,700 for it.
Ah, okay. Got it. Got it. Interesting. I'm thinking processes in my head
So
right now.
yeah,
Okay.
so we do tell a lot of coaches if they don't have, that overhead cost, it works for them. If
Yeah.
some people have that overhead cost, it doesn't work for them. So they kind of have to figure out how they can adjust their pricing to make it work for their sales process. Maybe the closers get a less of a percent, 1 or 2 points less because they put them on financing. Maybe they just bump up the cost of their program and they kind of
Yeah.
build it into the monthly payment. Like, hey, the cost is, $10,000 or it's 24 payments of $550. And so then that way they can just pitch a price instead of a payment. It's kind of like Netflix. Netflix, it's $99 a year or 12 payments of $15. Like, what works for you? We're not doing the math. We're just figuring out what's comfortable with my bank account at that time. And I want Netflix so that I can binge it next week.
And people, obviously, this is already happening all over, like every single day, and
Totally.
not just within like this context, Netflix or like other, like from a consumer perspective,
Yeah,
it's kind of normal to understand, like, oh, cool, I pay less to, like, how do you buy your phone? How do you buy your car? So
totally.
very familiar with financing. Okay, so the fee
And that's
structure,
where you can leverage like and pay it off within 12 months and you can avoid all of that interest.
I love it. Okay, so for everyone listening and loving this, leaning in, I know you shared your site with us. We'll pull that up here, clientfinancing.com. And where, like looking at this site, what's like a good next action to take?
So with our website, you can do sign up. That is where you can just fill out a merchant application for the merchants to start working with us. If you want to talk with me, that's kind of the best way where myself and a business can have a conversation, or my team will sit down. I'll ask you some questions. I'll ask you what your program is that you offer, and then I can kind of tell you what lenders that you would be able to fit with out of the lenders that we have. And then after that conversation is when you would want to fill out this application. So if you know you want financing and you want to start offering it now, go to our website and fill it out. If you want to talk to me first and kind of sift through some things, best way to communicate with me, I can give you my email. It's lexi@clientfinancing.com, or you can find me on Instagram, lexi.clientfinancing.
Awesome, and send her a message, reaching out to you directly. Well, thank you for sharing that, Lexi, and I know that'll help improve a lot of sales processes and businesses for people, especially, well, I mean, holidays are approaching, but really in all seasons, like, oh,
Totally.
summer's coming up, like you want to reserve some cash for trips coming. I don't know, there's always going to be some excuse, right? All this being said, I was curious, how did you get into client financing?
So I was a math teacher for 10 years, a high school math teacher. Did not think I'd be in this space at all. 2 years ago, the president of our business, he reached out to me. It's my brother.
Mm.
And he said, you know what, Lexi, you've seen me be successful in this space. I'm starting this business, client financing. I can take a business and just run with it. I need your skills of management skills, organization skills, people skills, and I need someone to actually take it and help me build it to where I want it to be. So he offered me the CEO position and we took it. I took it. I quit teaching 2 weeks before the school year was about to start two
Wow.
years ago. And we have grown. We went from he was doing about $8 million a month when he brought me on. And just last month, we financed $25 million. So
That's
we're
awesome.
building and growing, which is pretty fun.
Congrats. This younger or older brother?
Older brother.
Good older brother looking out for you. I like it.
He is. He absolutely is.
So how are you liking the world of commerce compared to teaching?
Best decision I've ever made. One, because I have two little girls and I can be home with them. I'm so busy with this and it's the best kind of busy to have, but I can actually take my time and make it work with my children's schedule where teaching it, you're just there, you have to be there. I loved teaching though. It was some of the best years. My students and we had an amazing relationship. Math always came second in my classroom.
Hmm.
We just made sure we had a good time. We felt safe and confident. And so I still do see some of my students, but being able to kind of take that same thing and put it into a business and be an entrepreneur. And, you know, 15 years ago, I started an after school math tutoring company. And so we
Hmm.
kind of have that entrepreneur in our family and our blood. So just to be able to take it and drive with it and build has been the best thing. It's really awesome.
Well, it sounds like you could no longer suppress it. The entrepreneur bug came back out. I'm glad you're doing it because now you're educating a bunch of business owners on how to increase cash flow for their business and help consumers, get the product services that they need and want to go to their next level. So I appreciate you coming out and sharing that with our audience. Anything else that you'd like to end with today?
No, let's connect and close more sales.
Uh, most people that listening and watching to this, that's their love language, closing more sales. So that's perfect. I appreciate you, Lexi,
Thank you, Chris. Have a good day.
and appreciate you guys. Your time and attention means the world to us, which is why we find the best entrepreneurs that are getting the best results, different programs, angles that will bring you to your next level. So if you appreciate that, we've got more of that content coming your way. Stay tuned. See you guys on the next one.